Hello guys, what's up everybody? Welcome back to an awesome day here in cryptocurrency. I'm your host, San Capizzi, here with CryptoSomniac to bring you everything cryptocurrency. So what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, Bitcoin is just over 14.2 grand, and I want to talk to you guys today about what the price of Bitcoin could potentially be by the... All right, let's hope that YouTube comes in here in a second. Outputs says I'm streaming to YouTube. Grand, and I want to talk to you guys. All right, we are live on YouTube. Let's hope this doesn't boot me offline again. All right. I got us all pulled up. Live streaming. All right. So we just actually had a call in the Moon Lounge covering what's going on in the news and Bitcoin, and I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin for the end of the year, what price it's going to be at, and Bitcoin prices just broke the internet. So yeah, we're having some trouble here, but it looks like we're all sorted out. So please answer questions, or ask questions rather, if you guys have any. What's going on, Strother Benson? We got you guys pulled up on Twitter, on the Facebook page, and in the Facebook group. Leave your guys' questions below, and we will try to answer them as they come in. Cody asks, what's my favorite ICO right now? Take a look at INS if you guys have not yet. One of the most interesting ICOs out there, revolutionizing the grocery store industry. I have a video that I covered it on the YouTube channel a couple of days ago. Check that out. I'm going to start covering some things, guys. Ask questions as they continue to come in. And do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, and let me know if you guys like what you guys think of the video here. We're going to be giving away some free cryptocurrency in just a moment. So for starters, I want to talk about Bitcoin. Right now, we are at a Bitcoin dominance of 61%. We're here live on my website. I want to go over to CoinMarketCap yet, since we don't have this feature enabled yet, but let's start by taking a look at Bitcoin's dominance and talking about it in a historical type of precedent. So back in the beginning of the year, Bitcoin was pretty dominant. I mean, this chart takes us all the way back to the 2013. And Bitcoin's dominance, you know, it's a misconception actually that cryptocurrency is brand new this year and that there were only, you know, a couple of cryptocurrencies, you know, for many years. In fact, there have been many other cryptocurrencies dating back to even 2013. I think Litecoin was developed in 2011. Ethereum was in 2014, I believe. A bunch of these cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin, of course, had the largest dominance up until about springtime earlier this year, when it seemed like a lot of different projects came online and started being talked about, where we sunk to as low as about 35, 37, 38%. And we've been recovering pretty nicely since then. Bitcoin's dominance is basically a percentage of how much money is invested into Bitcoin overall, comparatively to other cryptocurrencies in the market. Right now, we are a bit high comparatively to where we have been, having had dipped to our lowest point back in spring. We are at a Bitcoin dominance of 62%, meaning that the total market is 62% invested into this cryptocurrency. That number is, in my opinion, could be a bit high. I think we could see that diversified into some other cryptocurrencies moving forward. This is not to say that Bitcoin's price is affected by the percentage of total market capitalization. So this is just a graph of how much money is distributed amongst other cryptocurrencies. This isn't indicative of Bitcoin's price. Even here, when Bitcoin had a dominance of this, it was still very large and high in price. This does not reflect that. I think this is just interesting to note that I think a lot of new people are coming into space. This is how I interpret this graph here. I think a lot of new people are entering the market, and a lot of people obviously join and participate into Bitcoin as their first investment. That is the the most logical step into investing into the market, and then they start to realize about what other cryptocurrencies are out there. That there are in fact many other cryptocurrencies that you can actually invest in. And I think that there is going to be a shift in this percentage dominance as things continue to change. As people realize this, I think you will see people diversify portfolios, and it may take years. It may take 5 to 10, 6, 7, 8 years before we become mainstream adopted, and we have a lot of these other options that people are heavily invested into, and they're growing as we speak. This is not something that is happening or will happen overnight. This will happen gradually, and I think this bodes very well for some of the other cryptocurrencies in the space. I want to also show you guys the total market cap. So hopping back over real quick to the website, the market cap of cryptocurrency as a whole is 391 billion. And if we look at that historically, we are at obviously all-time highs. We had 3 kind of little run-ups, and we are in the middle of this third one here as far as this year goes. This chart right here shows that we are parabolic. However, let me break this down for you so we can look at this on the logarithmic scale. And what the logarithmic scale does, it helps linearize this parabolic movement and really show us the rate of acceleration at which we are increasing. It's logarithmic scales attempt to linearize other functions that are not linear. So we see dating back to 2013 to now, we have been pretty linear. Of course, some portions of this graph go up at faster paces than at other times. Right now, we are at we are actually not increasing as fast as what we were back in the spring. You can see that we had a steeper increase of money flowing into the market back in the spring than we do now, which is interesting to note. I think this is how we kind of want to compare these different run-ups when we break it down back into the linear scale. This run-up here basically was greater in comparison to the run-up we're experiencing now when you look at it on a logarithmic scale. So this kind of just shows you that, despite being what we think such fast growth in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now, it's not even as fast as it was back in the spring. It's not as fast as it was back in 2013. Of course, the market looks a lot different then as it did now, so I'd rather compare it to here in the spring, but this is just a graphical representation of this accelerated growth that we've been experiencing. Guys, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. Let's tell the rest of the world that this video was worth watching, and of course, ask questions. I'm going to take an opportunity to ask them here as we go through the rest of this video here. What else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about what's going on as far as where I think the total market capitalization could be going forward and into next year. So at the beginning of this year, on January 1st, if we take a look, the market cap was at a measly $17 billion. Let's whip out the calculator and see how much of an increase that actually was. So let me type the calculator in. We are at, let's just round it, 400 billion and divide it by, let's say we were at 17 billion at the end of the year. We've seen the market cap increase at a rate of roughly 23 times the size that it was back in the beginning of the year. Bitcoin enjoying a lot of that. It increased from $1,000 to about $15,000 now, experiencing 15x growth. Of course, some other markets and other cryptocurrencies experienced a larger growth than that, than 15x. The market overall as a whole has seen the money pumped into this market 23x. Let's take that out and just pretend and extrapolate. Let's pretend we're at the same rate of growth, 400 times another 23, meaning that, if we were to experience that same rate of growth and expansion, that we could be at $9.2 trillion. If we were to experience and keep on that same pace. I don't think we'll see 9 trillion next year. I think we will no doubt see a trillion. I think $1 trillion will be in this market sometime by the end of next year. Wouldn't even be surprised to see us hit 2 trillion. Bitcoin is becoming more and more stable as time goes on. I don't think it's too early to get involved in the space. We are at 15,000 right now, but I want you guys to understand that this truly is a revolutionary piece of technology, that this is not just a currency. Just like the internet was the infrastructure that housed a lot of amazing applications, I want you to understand that Bitcoin is only the first application for blockchain technology. It is a currency. It is only the first application, and I really want you guys to understand that. And that Bitcoin's price right now at 15,000, some people think, is that overpriced? Is that too much? Is it the wrong time to enter the market? I think that really depends on how fast of a return you're looking for in this space. Are you like my father? My father recently wanted to learn how to get involved in the space. He wanted to request how he could first get invested. He currently isn't yet. You know, my mother, my father, my sister, my co-founder's friends, his family. You know, your family probably aren't invested into Bitcoin yet. You know, if you're watching this video, of course, you are interested in cryptocurrency, and maybe you are invested, but there are a lot of others, and you know that there aren't a lot of other people invested. So when people ask me, is it the right time to get purchased into Bitcoin? I want you to think about some numbers here. So in 1994, 0.5% of the world was using an email. Right now, just over about 0.1% of the world is invested into cryptocurrency. So, you know, fast forward 20 years from 1994, here we are today, 23 some years later, and everyone who here does not have an email address. Meanwhile, Bitcoin, about like I said, even less than 0.5% is invested into cryptocurrency right now. Can you imagine, fast forwarding 20 years, how many people will own Bitcoin in some facet, own a little bit of cryptocurrency? This is really, truly revolutionary. This is going to revolutionize and digitalize not just currency, but a whole lot of other assets as well. We can talk about remittances and seeds and tokenizing assets and investment funds, venture capital. So this is just the beginning of all of this. I think that this is very early in the stage here, and we're going to break down some of this thing into some charting here and show you guys how I measure and look at some of these statistics. I know we just did a little bit here in this graph here. I'm going to take this opportunity to actually read some of the questions before we get into the charts, and I also want to show you guys how you can earn some free cryptocurrency. We're going to be giving away some free cryptocurrency here in a moment. Head over to the Facebook page. It's in the description of my YouTube banner, all the videos on the top of the banner, and I'm going to show you guys how you can win some free cryptocurrency going forward. So anyone who shares this video here on Facebook is going to be eligible to win some free crypto today. We have 19 shares. Stick around to the end of the video. We're going to be giving away some free crypto. And to win some free crypto tomorrow, we are going to be giving away free cryptos to someone who tags someone in this video here. So I'm going to play this video here for you. Let me tell you guys real quick about what we're doing on Friday. On Friday, we are doing the first ever 24-hour live stream event dedicated to cryptocurrency and donating all of the proceeds to the Water Project. We'd love it if you could tag a friend and join us on Friday. One lucky person will win some free cryptocurrency tomorrow. Head over to the Facebook page to see this video. I'm going to blow it up and play it real quick for you guys once.
Seeds via Bitcoin and donate.
Let me change the sound real quick so you can listen to it. Let me guys know. Whoops. Let me know if you can hear it. This should work.
Friday, December 8th. Hey guys, on Friday, December 8th at 3 o'clock Eastern, we're doing a 24-hour live stream event covering everything crypto related.
And it's for a great cause. The Water Project, a great charity.
We're taking all proceeds via Bitcoin and donating them to the Water Project. Again, join us on December 8th at 3 o'clock Eastern.
So again, this is going to be the first 24-hour live stream event dedicated to cryptocurrency. And what's really special about it, guys, is that it is going to be so transparent. You know, a lot of people are going to see how Bitcoin actually works right then and there and live, because Bitcoin is transparent. It's you can see it recorded on the ledger. So we're going to be able to show you guys that we can't forge or faultily or stuff the money or hide the money. We're going to show you guys right on air. We're going to send the money at the end of the stream live on air to the to the foundation, and show you guys that that this is how Bitcoin works, that you're going to be able to be be able to send money in new ways and donate to charities. And we think it was a really cool idea to show you guys that we can donate to a foundation using Bitcoin, and that it's public information. You'll be able to see and know that we actually delivered upon and sent that crypto over, and we didn't pocket any of it. So we'll be doing that on Friday. We hope that you'll join us. And I want to take a chance to answer some of those questions. So Recta on YouTube says, technical analysis says it's in a bubble. So I'd like to see what statistics you mean when you say that technical analysis shows that we're in a bubble. And I do agree with you, JM, there, that technical analysis cannot necessarily be applied here to cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is still very news driven, and we don't have the fortunate ability to be able to show you guys. You don't have the fortunate of being able to track and technicals when it comes to cryptocurrency. It's still very early on. You don't have the data and the foundation that supports this, that shows you guys the same things that the technical analysis in the traditional stock market can. I think I just shared a lot of information as to why we aren't in a bubble. I showed you how many people are invested in cryptocurrency. I think when my father, when my mother, when my friends are invested into cryptocurrency, when I have to stop convincing them, when I don't have to be here on YouTube anymore to get people and make a living telling people to buy cryptocurrency, I think then maybe we'll be in a bubble. Here I am on YouTube trying to educate people on how to get involved. And I think, this is part of the reason why I have a job, is that there are not a lot of people invested into cryptocurrency. It just simply isn't a bubble. This is really technology in its infancy, and I think a lot of the applications here, they are exploring a ton of new niches, just like the internet was back in 1990. There were very little applications, and you have this domain here in blockchain trying to use all this technology, and it's Bitcoin is only the first application of it all. There are many other applications exploring every single niche in this arena, in this space, and they are all very early. None of them do it well yet. None of them are at this level here where you can, say that we're actually in a bubble. I'm going to check out some of the other questions on some of the other channels, see what you guys are saying. A little bit of an echo. Hey, Sam, what is your favorite ICO right now? Do a favor, guys, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button if you're here with us. Whatever platform you're on, take a moment to ask some questions here. I'm taking a look over on Facebook to see what other questions you guys have and try to answer as many of them as we can. What else? Let's take a look over on YouTube. So, we're not even at $1 trillion, and people keep calling it a bubble. Careful with the VPN. If you get caught, they can liquidate your account. What is the best use for blockchain? That's a great question. What is the best use for blockchain technology? So, I have to imagine that it is money. I think money is again only the first application to this, but I think money and currency is the first application and the wisest, most logical approach, because what Bitcoin does in decentralizing currency is truly revolutionary, and something that we haven't been able to do in this space. Decentralization is nothing new, but to decentralize it to the point where no one has control over the amount, the supply, the inflation rate, that it is truly decentralized. No one person holds control of the network, and yet everyone can participate and join the network at no at no charge. There is no verification process to be part of this network. It is truly revolutionary, and that's going to shift a lot of things in the market. So a lot of people in third world countries, there are 6 billion people with limited access to good banking services. There are 2.5 billion people with no access to banking at all. And that's only head of households. There are, people have more children and wives and spouses and children in their household. 2.5 billion head of households are without banking services. There are 6 billion people with limited access to good banking. And even here in the West, where we have good access to banks, a lot of them are faulty in a lot of ways. They centralize assets. They are constantly facing issue. Our country here in America is trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. We continue to print money at our own leisure. So it's really going to change a lot of things. People that have never had access to a bank can now do it all from your cell phone. You can bring the cell phone in. Many people in the world have have cell phones. They may not have access to the internet, but they have access to a cell phone. And this cell phone can now be a bank. It's not even just money. You can bring the bank to Nigeria all through a cell phone. So I think money is probably the most interesting application here in cryptocurrency. Someone asked me that. However, that is only scratching the surface of what this thing can actually do. I think that blockchain technology is going to impact numerous facets and sectors of the world well beyond just currency. What do I think about IOTA? So I'm going to go into some of the charts and break down some of the things I've noticed in the chart here. And one thing I want to tell you guys is head over to my course. If you haven't had a chance to take through and be walked through my course, it's a great place to start when you're investing into cryptocurrency. You can join that by hitting the link in the YouTube description below. I also have the link in the video. Head over to my website. You'll be able to get a copy of your free Bitcoin beginner's guide that helps you walk through how to set up a wallet and exchange. You can get that in the link of this video description. If you're on YouTube, you can check out the course over in the banner of my YouTube profile. But let's bring out the chart for Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I see here in the chart. And I have a lot of indicators here pulled up. If you're wondering if it looks a bit confusing, definitely suggest either booking a one-on-one appointment. I take one-on-one appointments. Me and my team here can help you understand some of this information, or even my course. But let's take a look at the charts in USD Tether. So here I'm at on Coin2G. We'll take a look at GDAX, one of the most populous and best exchanges when it comes to volume and liquidity. What I see here, I'm on the daily chart. Obviously, Bitcoin is at an all-time high right now at 14,500. On the daily, the MACD continues to rise, showing no signs of slowing down. The RSI is quite high. In fact, while we're here on the daily, I want to note that the RSI is high as we have been since this date right here. You can see right here the RSI is as high as it's been since the date of May 12th, May 11th. But interesting to note that didn't really slow anything down or the growth of crypto. You can see that over those next several months, cryptocurrency only continued to shoot up in price. So the RSI, while still quite high and the highest has been in recent memory right now, just keep that in mind. Let's take this out to a 4-hour chart and take a look. So the MACD also showing that it's continuing to rise. Let's take a look at it on the 2 hours. MACD continuing to rise. Let's take a look at it on the 1 hour. And in fact, let's brighten up the colors here for you. We'll make that a thick blue. We'll make it even a lighter blue to see it. We'll make the red a little bit brighter as well. The MACD is a technical analysis indicator I like to use to chart, help me understand where things are going. Right here on the hourly, looks like we're headed back down if you're a frequent trader. It's better to zoom these things into smaller time frames where you can start to see some of the intricacies that are in the graph here. It can tell you a little bit more real time about where things are headed. But if we take a look, it looks like we are headed down a little bit, and that has been reflected over the course of the last several minutes, an hour or two. But going back to the daily, and I like to look more at the daily. I like to see the long-term course here of Bitcoin. I think that it's interesting to note that Bitcoin here looks like we are, still in an upward trend according to the MACD. Like I mentioned, it is still extremely young, and I think it really depends on, what kind of person you are and what time frame you're looking to profit while investing into cryptocurrency. Like I mentioned earlier with my father's trying to learn how to get involved into cryptocurrency, and he's getting ready to retire soon. I'm sure he has a lot of funds to be able to invest at his own leisure, and I don't think he'll be needing the money anytime soon. I think that he'll be looking to invest and hold on to that money for 10, 20 years, assuming that's his goal. But I think if that's your case, if that's the scenario in which you are looking to invest in, then now is as good a time as any to invest in cryptocurrency. If you're looking to penny pinch, if you're looking to flip this thing for a quick buck, like I showed you here on the 30 hour and the 1 hour and the 30 minute rather, looks like we're headed down. So if you are a penny pincher and you're looking to trade more actively, then it may be wise to hold off. I do think we are a bit overbought right now. I do think it is a bit of a tricky time, but this could vastly change. So something also I'd like to share is that Bitcoin right now, it's the holiday season, and I want to show you some stuff about the price and the charts during the holiday season right now. So Thanksgiving was on November 23rd this year, I believe. If we zoom this chart into November 23rd, we were let's take a look at it at a smaller interval. Right here on November 23rd, it was Thanksgiving. I'm sure a lot of people sat at the dinner table at Turkey Giving talking about Bitcoin, and it looks like by Saturday and Sunday we had a big increase of about $2,000-$3,000 over the course of just a couple of days. I'll be interested to see if people treat this time off the same way they did back on Thanksgiving. And of course, we can only use history to suggest what might happen in the future, but using Thanksgiving as our most recent example, I suspect people in their time off will actually use this time to get educated and learn more about cryptocurrency. And what better time to do it than Christmas, when you have time to be with your family, talk about what's going on in the news, speak about what's going to happen going forward. So it'll be really interesting to see if people will actually take some of their profits off the table and, bear some of the fruit that we've had over the last couple of months. Or will they take this time off to become educated, to become an investor? And like I said, I encourage you to start here at Cryptosomniac as a platform. We have a course. We're building out another course right now that helps you learn everything that you need to know about how to get educated into cryptocurrency. With that being said, feel free to schedule an appointment with us. We take one-on-one appointments where we can help you get educated and started in learning here. We offer a subscription-based newsletter starting January 1st where you'll be able to get everything that you need to know on how to become educated in the space. We also offer a course over on cryptocurrency. You can get the link to that in the banner of the YouTube profile. And who better to teach it than a qualified engineer like myself here at Cryptosomniac? I know a lot of other people in the space, hopping off the piggyback here of cryptocurrency and trending, and that's great because there's a lot to learn and get involved. But I've been studying the blockchain since 2012. I'm an engineer myself, and I've designed a course, that'll be able to teach you everything, and it's taught, from an expert like myself. So I encourage you to check that out if you're new to cryptocurrency. It's really the best place to get educated and get started. Of course, there are so many other places to learn and become educated in this space. There's a lot of different things to learn, and I really break down some of that for you in the course. I'd like to take a look at some of the guys' questions here on the channel, and hit that thumbs up button, guys. Let other people know that this video was worth watching. Please check out the IMS plans to replace the US dollar on their SDR in 2018. This will cause a 41% inflation on the US dollar. They plan to use blockchain currency to replace the USD. I'm actually not familiar with what you're referencing here, but I think 41% inflation to the US dollar is quite high. But another thing that Bitcoin does is it controls the inflation rate here of Bitcoin. You can actually tell how many Bitcoin will be in supply at any given time in the future to the T. That's something that you cannot do with traditional currencies. We have inflation here in the U.S. Inflation has been around 3-4% over the last 30 years. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has a controlled rate of inflation, and it's it's pretty crazy to think that if you leave your money in a bank, you earn about 0.25%. Let's say you own 1% on your savings in the bank, at most. That's a pretty good deal. You can't even get as high as you can't really get as high as that in most banks. Meanwhile, inflation's at 3 to 4% here in the U.S. You actually would lose money by storing your money in the bank account due to inflation, which is kind of pretty ridiculous. And that's really just a result of what we've designed here in the fiat systems. And money is always evolving. I think back before money is really interesting. I'm reading a book that says money actually has predated writing. Some of the first scriptures that we've ever discovered in artwork actually are of money, and they have proven that money has actually come before writing. And I think it's really interesting to note that the progression of money has been slow. But yet we've evolved a lot. We've went from trading goats for eggs to bananas to eventually basically trading things other than just food. We started trading abstract items, things like jewelry for food, or pretty sculptures and artwork for food. And it wasn't long until we actually moved on to basically trading rocks and stones that represented money. And then we moved on to trading precious metals. Precious metals actually were a very logical step in the progression of money. They are very easily dividable. You can break down a piece of gold and metal and platinum. They are rare. They are, they take work to dig up out of the ground. And then basically what we did is we designed paper money. Maybe I forget when, but we learned that we could actually, instead of carrying around bricks of gold, that we could store money in vaults and basically represent them with paper bills and trade paper bills instead of actually holding on to gold. And then about 50 years ago, we invented plastic, and we made it possible to charge things via credit cards. And now we have Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And I think the revolution there and the pace of action there is almost as fast as going from what we had in basically precious metals to being able to use credit cards. I think we're leaping some of the steps here. I think we are accelerating at a tremendous rate with what blockchain can do. It is that revolutionary. It is not just a minor step here in what money can do. It is a lot more than that. So I encourage you to all become educated and learn about what this thing can do, because it is not too early yet to become profitable and to learn and become educated off of all of this. I'm going to take a chance to basically read some of your guys' questions now. Let me open this up in the Facebook page or the Facebook group. I want to take a look at some of your guys' questions from over there. Chance to basically read some Cryptosomniac page. Do me a favor, guys, and hit that thumbs up button, and head over to our website where you can learn a whole lot more about cryptocurrency over at cryptosomniac.com, and stick around to the end of the channel where we'll be giving away some free cryptocurrency. Let's basically take a look at, let's talk about IOTA the past couple of days. So IOTA recently partnered with Microsoft, attributing its massive growth the past several days. And if we go over to CoinMarketCap, unfortunately this is also not a feature I have here on our website yet, but it will be coming. Over the last 7 days, IOTA is up a massive 220% on the week. They partnered with Microsoft, but I think it's a great time to maybe take some of that money off the table and profit, because IOTA is very young. It's a project very early on. It serves as the domain for the Internet of Things. They do not have smart contracts enabled yet on IOTA, and you can see that we've had a massive run up. Let's take a look at it actually in the charts and break it down from a TA standpoint. It's only over on Binance, according to Coinigy anyway. I had this chart pulled up a little bit ago. On the 2-hour where the MACD is going down, the RSI is about 50. A little oversold according to the stochastic. If we look at this on the hourly, we actually look like we're about to cross on the MACD. That's a good sign there. We're talking about the short term. But on the daily, you can see that we're pretty high up there. MACD still looks like it hasn't made a move to cross back down, but again, this is the daily, so it is not extremely real time. But I think IOTA is quite high. I recommend trading, if you're someone who likes to trade in and out of altcoins, to basically take some profits and ladder them out. Don't sell all in one direction. I would not take a 100% in or out approach. I think that it's wise to ladder in orders. It's called dollar cost averaging, where it makes more sense to buy or sell any investment actually incrementally. So instead of investing $10,000 today into Bitcoin, it might be more logical to spread out that investment over the course of 2 or 3 months. Invest $3,000 this month, $3,000 next month, and $3,000 the month after, instead of trying to penny or basically spot the bottom spot on. Because I'll tell you, no one's able to do that. No one is able to spot the bottom perfectly. And of course, in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, a lot of this is not driven by TA. You can't understand everything that you need from TA. A lot of it is news driven. Like I mentioned in the earlier part of this broadcast, that this isn't like the traditional stock market in which you have the ability to chart things from a strictly technical analysis standpoint. A lot of it can be thrown out the windows. For example, IOTA partnering with Microsoft. This is not a movement that you could have analyzed and understood, back here. You could not have predicted this. This movement here was strictly off of news. So it's important that to understand that there's a lot of different ways to become educated in this space. It's not just learning how to read charts. It's not just learning how the technology works. It's not just reading up on articles. It's understanding all of that together and piecing that together. It's learning how to be able to do that, and how to learn to where you can actually get some of these pieces of information. Learn that Twitter and Reddit is a great place for real-time information. Going to the websites, becoming educated, reading white papers, learning how to chart. This is not something that you learn overnight. This is not something that is something that you become a master at and an expert in a short amount of time. It's something that I have taken the time, and I've saw this trend happening earlier this year, and I made it a full-time career because I saw the opportunity and how much information there really was to learn in this space. And I've spent 16 hours a day for the past 5 months trying to educate myself, because I know that spending that amount of time now will really allow me to create that freedom that I want later on in life. I'm not going to have 16 hours a day if I'm, have a wife and children. I don't have that. I won't have that ability. But it's not too early to be able to, really pump in the time and effort into this project right now. So I hope that you guys, really capitalize off of all of this. Let's take a look at some of the questions. Let's talk about Monero, actually. Monero has actually dropped in price the past couple of hours and day or so after seeing a recent increase in price. This is something that I want to talk about a little bit here before we end the show here today, is what Monero is and why privacy will continue to be valued going forward in the space here, and what it does a little bit differently than Bitcoin. Let's refresh the page here and see what Monero is trading at for right now. So Monero is up to 267, down about 7-8%. This is recently a lot of musicians basically stated that they'll be accepting Monero as a form of payment. And I think that as Monero continues to be the best private and fungible cryptocurrency out there, people will really start to enjoy that. Value privacy. So let's go back over to CoinMarketCap for just a moment. CoinMarketCap saying that Bitcoin, of course, is at $14,000. You can see that over here. But when people become invested and learn that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is not private, it is safe, it is secure, but it is not private. And that is a misconception that a lot of people still have. In fact, a lot of people still, not as much anymore, but a lot of people still think that this thing is only used for drugs in the dark net and illegal and illicit activity, because it is not traceable. But that is quite contrary. You can create anonymous accounts within the Bitcoin network protocol, but when you attach them to real world identities, which is necessary for withdrawing funds into fiat, then none of this is private. Bitcoin is great. It's a revolutionary piece of technology, but it is not private. It is fully traceable. It is fully viewable, and then you can read it all on the ledger. That is one reason why we'll be doing a live stream event on Friday, showing you guys that you can't lie with Bitcoin. We're going to be able to donate that to a foundation, aka the Water Project, via Bitcoin, and that we won't be able to fake it, and it'll be fully traceable. Meanwhile, as people become educated and get into the space, I think they're going to I know that they will value privacy more and more as time goes on, and Monero is the safest, best coin when it comes to investing in private cryptocurrencies. Monero is something that I have read from day one. I've gotten into it at under $1, just pennies, and it has been around since 2014. It as the one of the longest standing cryptocurrencies out there. I think something that you should really take into consideration is how long the network has been up, how stable it is. Bitcoin has been up for a while, and it has the fortune of testing itself at such a grand and large scale. A lot of other cryptocurrencies have came online, but they don't have the what is it called, the time alive to be able to test and go through a lot of these little bumps and hiccups in the road. And Monero is one of those that has been around for quite some time. It is one of the best coins by development out there. So something that I like to look at from time and time again is Gecko. Gecko ranks some of the features of cryptocurrencies, some of the properties. For instance, developers, the community, the public interest. And if we take a look at Monero and sort this by development, it is at number 4, and the only 2 coins ahead of it are Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum Lite has a market cap of 0. I don't know what this is. We're going to ignore that. And according to CoinGecko, Monero is the 3rd best development team in all blockchain technology, and that is not coincidence. This is not a lie. This is not something completely subjective by CoinGecko. It's pretty well known that Monero is one of the best development teams out there. So Monero is going to continue to rise, in my opinion, as people value privacy. And Monero is currently the one and only coin that I would consider investing in if you value privacy. Imagine getting your salary in Bitcoin. Every 2 weeks, we typically get paid here in the U.S., and if you were to see someone get paid $3,000 on the Bitcoin network every 2 weeks, it's pretty obvious that that is his income, that is his salary. And we don't share that information typically. We don't like to publicly share what our salaries are. So Monero allows us the opportunity to not have to publicly give that information out. Bitcoin is great, and like I said, it's the first application of this whole blockchain era. There are a lot of other applications out there. Monero, being one that values privacy. So I would certainly take a look at it. Let's take a look at some of the questions. CryptoKitty, people to pay have kittens. I seen that project. I saw the news article in there. I thought that was kind of funny. Free Google CryptoKitties. Good tips. I didn't know that about Monero. My pleasure. You libs keep getting blue-balled with the Russia story. Let's see if there's any questions over on Twitter. So I'm live streaming here on Twitter, on the Facebook page, on Google, on YouTube here. YouTube is owned by Google, right? So I think that's all right to say. So thank you all for being a part of the family. I think this is a special time in cryptocurrency right now to become involved in the space. I think it is pretty revolutionary as to what it all can do. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask them before we round out the stream here. I got to go cook some dinner. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that likes button, depending upon where you're at. And let the rest of the world know that this video was, worth watching. I feel like it was pretty important to get some of this information out there. And, it's still pretty early on to capitalize on, being a part of this new economic and digital revolution. And, for those of you who stuck around till the end of the channel, I want to thank you guys. We're going to give away some free cryptocurrency here right now. So, as mentioned earlier, let's give this page a quick refresh. Anyone who had shared this video here is going to get a chance to win some free cryptocurrency, and I usually like to do that using a random number generator to make that thing entirely fair. So we're going to pick one lucky person, and let's see how many people shared the video. Let's go down, 19 shares. So we got 19 shares. We are going to select one lucky person from that list there. Why can I not see all 19 of you? Perhaps some of these people's profiles, I think, are private and don't allow me to show who actually shared it. So let's use a number from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to take this random number generator. So 1 through 6. Why can't I type? 1 min max 6. And we're going to hit generate. And looks like lucky person number 4 just won yourself some free Kyber. So Kyber is a cryptocurrency I have been invested in and like to educate other people on. And where did the page go? 654. So Yoshi just won yourself some free cryptocurrency. We'll be in touch with you. I'll have our thank you department reach out to you and give you some free crypto for participating and for tomorrow to be eligible to win some free cryptocurrency. All you have to do is come here on the Facebook page and tag someone in this event here. Like I mentioned, on Friday, we're going to be having the first 24-hour live stream crypto event to educate people. We're going to be having a blast here, guys. We encourage you to join. We'll be donating all proceeds to the water project. Tag someone that you'd like to attend the event here on the page, and we hope that you'll have the chance to make it. We'll try to answer any questions that just came in before the show is over. And what's your opinion of Litecoin? So, good question. Litecoin is basically a test net, in my opinion, for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is relatively stable and new, and I think Litecoin is a very great project in the sense that it seems to test a lot of things out for cryptocurrency. And for Bitcoin, they are working on getting Lightning Network implemented. I think Bitcoin for now is doing the job just fine. I don't think Litecoin offers anything truly different. It's a little bit speedier. Bitcoin, however, is programmable money, so it's not it's not dynamic. It is dynamic money that can change. So even if Litecoin offers some of the things that Bitcoin has, Bitcoin can pivot. And I think Litecoin serves as a smaller network of people that they can use to test things out. It is, in my opinion, a good investment. I think it is something that should be a part of your portfolio. Coinbase has it as one of their 3 cryptos that they allow people to invest in via fiat. And that's pretty important, meaning that it is pretty easy to get in and out of. It's pretty liquid. Am I planning on paying taxes? Yes. So taxes on cryptocurrency definitely work a little bit differently. My co-founder and I actually have an appointment later next week on being able to tax our cryptocurrency because we are not very familiar with all of the intricacies in that regard. I think a lot of new people are going to be needing jobs, or I think a lot of new firms are going to be needing jobs for cryptocurrency accountants. It is not very intuitive as to what we're supposed to do here, but I will be paying my taxes. How do I feel about Ethos and the new ICO, Naga? I think Naga is a very interesting ICO. Tagged up with Roger Ver, obviously a very large spokesperson. Something to pay attention to, in my opinion. I think they offer a lot of different services out there. The project is pretty massive. I think it's a really interesting. And I see someone, Christopher Ers, there's no taxes on cryptocurrencies. That's not really true. Taxes differ country to country. Taxes are not a global. What would I refer to taxes as? Taxes are not a global thing. I don't have a better word for it. Taxes are not global. They differ from country to country. The government controls, how we handle our money. The government doesn't allow us to just hold $10,000 in our banks without them knowing it. That's just the way that the government works. It's different from country to country. So, if you're worried about taxes, make sure you look up the laws in your country and try to abide by those rules and things. Like I said, it's not the same in every country. It's not even the same in every state here in the U.S. actually. So, best thing to do is get an accountant that knows more than you do. One of my mentors says is, find someone who does it better than you and learn from them first. So, I encourage you to get a good tax accountant. Ever since I started learning about crypto, I started losing my hair. Well, I started dying the day I was born, so I think that's inevitable. So I don't think losing your hair is something to be worried about if you're learning about cryptocurrency. So thank you guys all for watching here on the channel. Make sure to join us on Friday. Go over to the Facebook page and make sure you tag a friend that you would like to attend this water project here. And thank you all so much for joining us and participating in this new digital and economic revolution. We will talk to you guys all again very soon. Thanks, everybody, and have a great night. And remember, stay crypto-somniac, because the rich never sleep.